I recently lost 10 kilos without missing out on all my favorite foods, so today I'm sharing 10 tips on how I lost the weight, and I will be including some of my favorite meals throughout the video, so make sure you watch till the end. But before we get started, a quick disclaimer: I'm not a doctor or a nutritionist or a health professional. I'm only sharing what worked for me, and what worked for me might not work for you, so please don't take this video as advice. And lastly, I will be talking about weight loss, calorie deficit and things like that, so if you find these topics triggering, please don't watch this video. Okay, now let's get into it. So a little background on my weight, and I'll keep this super brief. So I gained weight during my second pregnancy. So I was around 65, 66 kilos when I got pregnant in 2024. And then as with my first baby, I just let my body do what it needed to do. I wasn't restricting during pregnancy. I just ate according to my hunger, my cravings. And as again with my first baby, I did gain more than the recommended amount. But to be honest, I wasn't really stressing. I just let my body do what it needed to do. I was creating a human, so I wasn't stressing about the weight gain. I was eating as healthy as I could, but obviously I had cravings and my energy was low. So with all these things, I did gain quite a lot of weight. At the end, I was 90 kilos, which I was 89.9. I never actually saw 90 kilos, but for my height, that's quite a lot of weight. And I'm not saying if you're at this weight right now that you're big or anything, but for me, my body and my height, I really felt that weight. My knees were hurting, my back was hurting, so I was definitely the heaviest I've ever been in my life. I just didn't feel good. So I had my baby in September, and then after that, as with my first baby, the first week I lost like 8 or 9 kilos straight away without trying to lose weight, without restricting. Again, my body just got rid of the water weight and things like that. So the first 6 weeks postpartum, I didn't really do anything. I was just enjoying the time really, and just eating as much as I wanted and whatever I wanted. But obviously I didn't gain any weight because I wasn't overeating. So after the first 6 weeks postpartum, I decided to join Slimming World because I wanted a bit more of a structured approach to losing the weight. And if you're not in the UK, Slimming World is basically a weight loss plan. It's kind of similar to Weight Watchers, but to me much easier because I have done Weight Watchers as well in the past. So yeah, it's basically a weight loss plan that helps you eat healthier and be in a calorie deficit without actually having to count calories, which is amazing for me because I can't stick to calorie counting. I can do it for a few days, but I can't do it long term. So for me, it's not a sustainable way to lose weight. Again, if that works for you, that's amazing. And in my eyes, both calorie counting and Slimming World can work great for weight loss and can create healthy habits. So whatever works for you. But for me, Slimming World really worked because I've done it with my first baby as well. But basically, to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. And with Slimming World, I can be in a calorie deficit without actually having to count every single calorie. So you can either count all the calories using an app like MyFitnessPal, or with Slimming World, they basically encourage you to eat the foods that are naturally lower in calories, but they have a high satiety level. So that means that you can eat a bigger amount and feel fuller for longer, and that's usually all the healthy foods. So that's how the plan works. And I know Slimming World can get a lot of hate in social media because of certain rules, and I'm with you. I don't agree with every single thing that Slimming World says, but I just adapted it to fit my needs and my lifestyle, and I've still seen results. So with all that said, let's get into the tips. Focus on adding instead of restricting. So this is such a huge one, because if someone tells me I can't have something, that's the only thing I will want to have. So if you tell me I can't have chocolate, I will be spending the whole day thinking about chocolate and all the delicious ways I could be eating chocolate. And I think I'm not the only person that experiences this. I think a lot of diets fail because of that, because when you restrict, you tend to make that food even more appealing to you. So what I focused on during my weight loss was adding more things to my plate instead of removing. So for my breakfast, instead of saying I can't have butter on toast, I would have my butter on toast, but then I would also have eggs on the side for protein and also add fruits or something fresh for extra fiber. For lunch, I tend to serve my salad first, and I usually have half of my plate with salad, and I serve that first, and then I serve whatever food I'm having. And that means I definitely have my greens for the day, and it just makes me feel good basically. So it's a very easy habit to get into. Whatever you're gonna serve yourself, just serve half of your plate with salad, and then your food as you would anyways. And I love a good snacks, and especially with breastfeeding, I found that my appetite has really increased. So again, for snacks, I just add more things. So if I want something sweet, I will start with yogurt. I will add a bit of honey and fruits. So that's my protein from the yogurt and fruits. Yeah, just more fiber again. Or if I want something savory, I have cheese and an apple. So I don't have just plain cheese and crackers. I will have a normal amount of cheese. I would measure the cheese and have around 30 grams, but then also I would have a couple of crackers and then have a lot of fruit on the side. And also fruit and cheese is just such a good combination. Apple or grapes are my favorite with cheese, so I often have that snack, and it means that you get a bigger snack, but it also means that you feel fuller, so you don't constantly graze throughout the day, because I feel like I can't function if I'm constantly hungry. I want a big snack, I want a big lunch, and I just want to feel satisfied throughout the day basically. Next tip is to romanticize the process, and that means things like getting excited about eating healthy. So what I like to do is look through my cookbooks. I have loads. I have way more than a person needs, but I'm sure you have a few cookbooks around your house, so you can look through them, find healthy recipes to get inspired. Or if you don't have any cookbooks laying around, you can just go to Pinterest and type healthy chicken recipes and just get some ideas. You don't have to follow them 100%, but just even seeing the pictures with all the vibrant colors, the fresh fruit and vegetables, it just makes me excited to eat healthy. So on a weekly basis, just to keep getting excited about eating healthy. Another thing I like to do is also go to the greengrocer or supermarket and just have a look through the food, find new things that makes me excited to eat healthy. So I love grocery shopping, and if you've seen other videos, you know one of my favorite things is to go to a grocery shop and have a look through the food and just pick up healthy things that I can cook for the week. So I just love to pick up fun healthy treats like sugar-free jams, you know, the ones that are my favorite. I have way too many in my fridge open right now. Or pick up something like a kombucha, because I don't drink, so I love having something fun to drink. And then some other things that I look through and find healthy options are popcorn, pop chips. There's just so many things that you can have a look and yeah, get inspired and find some things that make healthy eating exciting. Find an eating pattern that works for you / intuitive eating. Now I know intuitive eating and weight loss might sound like the complete opposite, but to me I want to find ways to incorporate intuitive eating even when I'm losing weight. So when I serve myself, I don't restrict myself in things like rice, potatoes, meat, whatever I'm eating. I don't restrict myself with how much I'm gonna serve myself, but I am mindful of my hunger at the time that I'm serving myself. So if I'm feeling very hungry, I might serve myself a big portion of rice and chicken and whatever else I'm eating, obviously with my salad on the side. But if I start eating and I feel satisfied and I don't want to finish my plate, I don't finish my plate. So I always try to go by my physical cues, and I know that's a bit difficult to do sometimes, especially when you're trying to lose weight. But I think if you're also eating healthy, your body will tell you when it's full and when it's satisfied. I feel like everyone knows that sweet spot when you're satisfied. You could eat more and feel stuffed, or you could stop and feel happy and energized after. So I think I've seen somewhere a good way to check that is when you eat, if you would have space for dessert, that means you're at that sweet spot. So if you're completely stuffed and there's no room for dessert, that means you've gone maybe above your hunger. Anyways, I think you can experiment a bit with that. I just make it a habit to just serve myself, be mindful of how much is on my plate, and also use that knowledge for next time. So if I serve myself a massive amount of rice and I never finish it, I just adjust that portion, and just remember that you can always go back and add a bit more rice, add a bit more chicken if you're still hungry. I don't like feeling hungry. I just focus on eating healthy and listening to my body, and that has worked for me. And I don't really want to be overeating and feeling lethargic and heavy after meals. I want to feel energetic and feel good after my meals. So eating according to my hunger and fullness level has been super important. And then some other things that can help with eating intuitively is eating without distractions. Now, I admit I'm not the best person for this because I love eating with Gilmore Girls on the background, and that's one of my favorite things to enjoy my meals, if I'm honest. But I still try to pay attention to my fullness and check in with myself throughout the meal and see if I want more or if I can stop and feel happy with the amount. And then lastly, letting go of food guilt. So not labeling food as good or bad or seeing food in a negative way. So if I'm craving a cookie, I will have a cookie. If I'm craving pizza, I will allow myself and not feel guilty about it. And I know my weight loss might be affected because these foods are usually higher in calories, higher in sugar. So I might not see the results on that week, but I like enjoying my life as well, and I love food, so I like to enjoy these things and just continue with my healthy habits on the next day or the next meal. Drink water. This is pretty self-explanatory. Hydration is so important when you're trying to feel good, eat healthy, and just feel your best, basically. So you don't feel tired, you feel good in yourself, so your body is functioning well, and so you don't confuse hunger with thirst, which our bodies can do, and you go for food when you're not actually physically hungry. So drink your water. Next up, we got exercise. So I exercise for my mental health and to manage my cravings. So I love working out, but after having 2 babies in 2 years, I have lost a lot of fitness, and I'm now a mom to a toddler and a baby, so trying to find time to fit in a workout can be very challenging. So instead of trying to achieve everything I was doing before I had my babies, is just trying to do something instead of nothing. And I know that sounds very basic, but with my first baby, I was so focused on having the perfect workout that a lot of the times meant that I wasn't working out at all. So this time around, I just try to do something. Even if I get interrupted, even if I don't finish it, it means that I still moved my body and I still feel good at the end of the day. And going for a walk has been one of the things that I've been fairly consistent, because I do have a dog as well. So I do take at least 1 walk a day. I try not to put too much pressure on myself on the amount of time that I walk or the amount of steps I do. As long as I did at least 1 walk and I got outside, I got some fresh air, I felt happy that I did at least that. And then again, after my first 6 weeks of postpartum, once you get checked by your doctor and they clear you for exercise, I started incorporating little workouts here and there. I didn't really have a plan. I just went by whatever I felt good at the time. I just did YouTube videos. There's loads out there, so I will link some down below. And my goal was really to get moving, because moving makes me feel good, makes me feel like myself. So if you're not so keen on working out, just try doing different things. I'm sure you will find something that you like. There's so many things, from dancing to hiking if you like the outdoors, swimming, I love swimming, weight training. But even if you go for a walk, I've seen that walking is the best for weight loss. So currently I'm trying to increase my walking and also continue with strength training, because again, that makes me feel good. And also incorporate some Pilates because I love it. But yeah, try to experiment with different forms of exercise, because there's so many. And let me know in the comments what's your favorite way to work out. I think mine is dancing, Pilates, but yeah. I think it's snowing outside. It is March. Next up is eating out. So if you're doing that once in a while, I would say don't worry about it, just have what you want. But if you do get takeaway, or if you do go out for meals a lot, you can definitely make some healthier options. So, but again, if you're really craving something and you're out, I would just go for it. So if I'm out and there's something that I'm really craving, say a burger, and there's a chicken salad on the menu, but I really want the burger, I will just have the burger and just continue with my plan for the next meal, because I just don't want to obsess over that burger. But just listen to your hunger and your cravings. And yeah, if you're out a lot, you can definitely opt for healthier things. And again, seeing it not as, oh, I have to eat this boring fish, but I get to eat this healthy, nutritious meal that is also offered and available on this restaurant. So yeah, you can opt for things that are grilled, like grilled chicken, grilled fish, depending on where you go. And a lot of restaurants actually have the calorie content of all their meals, which I think is quite helpful if you want to make an informed decision about what you're gonna eat. Try not to focus too much on food. So find a hobby, go for a walk, watch a movie, basically just live your life and not focus too much on food. Now, don't get me wrong, I love food. My whole channel is about food, but I don't want to be thinking about food 24/7. I don't want to be obsessing over what I'm gonna eat, when I'm gonna eat. I just want to live my life and then enjoy the food when I get hungry. So instead what I do is I just have a rough plan of what I want to eat each day. I usually have a main meal for my lunch, and that's what I plan, and then the rest I just eat whatever sounds good at the moment. But I know that if I get hungry, I can also eat some yogurt, I can have some apple and cheese, I can have a healthy snack that's also gonna keep me nice and full until my main meal. Prioritize protein and fiber. Now, as you know, I don't really track calories, but I do include the calories for my what I eat in a day videos because you guys told me that you find it helpful. But even though I don't track calories, I still find it helpful to see the protein of my meals because I've definitely noticed a difference in my energy and my hunger levels when I eat enough protein. So if you've never tracked calories or protein, I definitely recommend doing it for a few days and just seeing how much protein there is in the meals that you tend to eat, and then seeing if there's any easy way that you can add more things to increase the protein. And that links with the first point that I made about adding instead of restricting. So again, for my lunch I try to add a couple of spoonfuls of cottage cheese to increase the protein, or add the eggs in the morning, and then just keep an eye on the protein to make sure I have a good balanced meal that will keep me full and happy. And then fiber again is super important for your overall health and it will make you feel fuller. So how I implement this is by adding something fresh with every meal. So for my breakfast I usually add some fruits, or I can add some tomatoes or lettuce. For my lunch I will have my salad, and again dinner if I have the main as a salad, or even if I don't, I will have half of my plate with veggies or salad. Veggies, I mean cooked veggies or fresh salad. And then again for snacks I will add some fruit on the side because it's super easy, or some cucumber and celery or carrot, depending if I want a savory or a sweet snack. That just makes me feel amazing, and I'm so used to eating that way that if I don't have something fresh with my meal it just feels weird and doesn't feel complete. Snacks are your best friend. This one has been super important because I'm breastfeeding, and I have found that my hunger has definitely increased even from when I was pregnant. But I also feel like it's important to not let my hunger go so high and so intense that I can't stop myself. When I do actually eat, I'm just ravenous. So I do like to have a good snack, plus I get hungry, and no one needs a hungry kiki in the house. It's not good. Some snacks that I love that are balanced for me and are quick and easy to grab are apples or grapes and cheese, and some crackers on the side, yogurt with berries and honey, and some walnuts if I want a bit of crunch and some healthy fats, popcorn or pop chips if you want something crunchy, carrot and cucumber slices with a bit of hummus, and you can also add a bit of Greek yogurt to increase the protein for the hummus. Let me know in the comments if you're a snacker, and also what's your favorite snack. And then lastly, don't skip dessert. And what I mean with that is include little treats throughout the day and make them work within your calories/sins, i.e. make it sustainable. So if you've seen my what I eat in a day videos, you know that I have a massive sweet tooth. I basically have lunch and immediately I want dessert. And I know that's not my physical hunger, but I've just accepted that that's my emotional hunger, and it just makes me happy knowing that after my lunch I will enjoy a nice sweet treat, and that just makes my day so much more enjoyable. I love food and I love little treats like that, and I know that I can have it in moderation. So what I did is I found some lower calorie desserts that also taste amazing, and I've incorporated them into my diet every day. Yes, every day I have dessert. I just need something sweet every day after lunch. Let me know in the comments if you're the same, if you have a sweet tooth. And again, what's your favorite dessert? I think mine would be tiramisu comes to mind, but I'm not sure if that's my favorite. I love cake. I just love everything. I love a tart. Oh, so many things that are sweet and nice. And I'm not saying I never have the real thing. I definitely have the real thing, and there's definitely a time and place for the real sweet treat, the real croissant, the real cake. But if you dessert like me every day, you probably don't want the higher calorie, higher sugar dessert every single day, because personally those things I love eating, but they don't make me feel my best. So I like to incorporate some things that are healthier, lower in calories, lower in fat, and that don't make me feel like I want to go for a nap after. So if you'd like to get an idea of what I ate in a day during my weight loss, you can check out this video, which includes dessert. So I'll see you over there. Also, if you made it this far, comment a cake emoji. Okay, bye!